morning, everyone. It is a Saturday. It's a Saturday at home. Matt had to go to work this morning, so it's a little bit different of a Saturday at home. Because he went to work this morning, we still slept in because Saturday is the only day to sleep in, right? She's sneezy. It's dry. The air is so dry out. So it's actually snowing, which is why I'm completely bummed up. And you already saw that in the intro video clip, but that's okay. But like, it's a dry snow. So I'm probably gonna run the humidifier, or the cool mist humidifier later, because it's really dry air right now. While he was at work, we decided to do a half day of school, kind of get just caught up on some things. And the bonus of doing Saturday school whenever he's working on Saturdays is it frees up another day of school off for when he is at home, or like if we suddenly get to travel or something, then we can take that school day off that would have been a normal school day off, because now we have a free day because we have an extra school day in our schedule. Number two, since there's no work assigned on Saturdays, it's just behind work. And since science is the last class of the day, usually the way it's automatically scheduled up in their computer, some days we just don't get to science. They love science, it's just some days we don't get to it because we've got, like, you know, research papers or algebra, or did I say algebra? I meant algebra. So anyways, so the goal today was just do science and just do a couple things in science to get caught up. What'd you make? Made a B. Cool. Number one, she's learning how to sign. Number two, she had a quiz and a test at the end of a chapter day, and she made a B on both, right? Fist bump.
Both have 2
And then did you finish that research, or not research, that video? So the cool thing about Monarch is that sometimes, like right now, 5th grade, Rebecca was supposed to be doing a transformation of heat, talking like solar energy and stuff. I'll show you outside later. It is 10 o'clock and we have no direct sunlight in like most of our house or our yard. Just like some of it is starting to get sunlight at 10 o'clock. And then by 2 o'clock, it's already feeling dark again. And then by 4 o'clock, it's definitely getting dark again. So anything solar paneled, science assignment right now just isn't gonna work. But the good thing that we love about Monarch, you love it, right? Is that if we don't have the supplies to do it, we have
videos.
Virtual labs. It's literally like they do the entire experiment on video for you. You take notes as if you're there with them. Like, you still feel like you're kind of there with them doing it. You're just watching it virtually, right? So you can't show the screen on.
So you can fill out my chart and my...
Awesome. Yeah, so like she can do charts along with them while she's watching the video. She can do graphs on graph paper. So it works out really well. So again, since there's no school technically scheduled for today, she had time to just focus on that and take it slow, and anything she does is just get caught up. So Sarah's finishing up a 7th grade quiz right now on, I'll let you retake the ones you missed in a minute. On, what are you doing? Astrology. No, astronomy. She's doing astronomy right now. There was 2 parts to this. This one is the stars one, or was the last one the stars one? They actually divided up because it's a lot.
Oh, this was a quiz on eclipses?
Eclipses. So this one is the sun and moon. Like, they did stars on just one, and then like scientists who study stars and the progression of like our telescopes and things. That was it. Last chapter was on telescopes and stuff and stars. This one is on like the sun, the moon, how eclipses work, the amounts of daylight and stuff. So
I don't have to learn about guys who invent the telescopes.
And she doesn't. The telescope one was so hard because it's like, what year did this guy invent this one? But then this guy did this one, and then like you like the compare and contrast one, right? Where you got to compare the two, like what their research. But like memorizing the dates of like this one with this complicated name did this and this. That's kind of hard.
There's the reflecting and the refracting.
Yeah, the reflective and the retractive. So it was like really, yeah, it was so hard. So what we're gonna do now though, since I may go ahead, so what I let them do is if they make a C or lower, I let them retake it and then they write down the questions. And then that way they're using the quizzes to study for the test. As long as they pass a test with a D or higher, like pass a test, I don't make them redo tests. But because quizzes are kind of like used as a study resource, I let them retake quizzes as often as they need. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and let her retake the quiz right now on just the questions that she missed after she goes back and shows me some notes that she studied first. Matt just got home from work though, and I'm bundled up because he and I had to scrape the driveway just so he could get up the driveway because our road is still covered. So it's a dry, powdery snow, but then like once you walk or drive over it, it compacts. So on his way down this morning while it was still pitch black dark and he had to go to work, he had to do like a morning shift this morning. It compacted. So then when he tried to come back up, it was compacting under the tires. He was trying to come up, and then anything that he'd already driven over was compacting. So we had to go out and scrape it. We've got one that scrapes, and then we've got a shovel that will move and scrape. Then we've got one that basically just takes the top surface off. So he and I kind of combined together and worked on that. But once she retakes this, then we're gonna go outside. It's almost 11 o'clock. We got kids through science. They each did 2 things each in science. The sun, it's almost 11. The sun just now, like the sun kind of skirts the ridge and then it finally comes over the ridge at like 11 o'clock. So we're just now starting to get some sunlight on the driveway, which hopefully will clear it so that we can go out tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday, and hopefully clear some of the road. But I am going to go outside and I'm gonna do the most thing. I'm gonna go take duct tape to the kids' sleds. So 2 of the sleds, the green ones, did not last. The blue ones did fine. So what we're gonna do, Sarah's got snow on her face, I'll show her to you in just a minute. What we're gonna do is go outside, fix some sleds, have some fun in the snow, and then we'll see where the day goes from there. Oh. Hey, I have a surprise for you. Okay. Come over here. So your dad and I found something while clearing part of the driveway earlier, and this is as much as we could scrape off, and there's still powder. Thankfully, what do we not see though, Sarah?
Ice?
Black ice. So it might. So Dad found something while we were shoveling. Do you see something that, no, don't step on it. Here. Do you see something that kind of looks evenly distributed across there?
Oh, it's a bunny!
Bunny tracks.
Because it goes whoop.
Very good.
Okay, that.
I was wondering if you could identify it just from that. But yeah, that was before we cleared it, so it happened sometime last night.
Yeah, look.
That's cool. How'd you learn to do that?
Actually I learned it from a Disney movie.
Cool. So you think bunny?
Yeah, because
I think you're correct.
I think it hopped.
So here's the bad part about compacted or powdery snow is it compacts. That's where he went to work this morning while it was still dark. And it won't scrape really well.
I want to sled down that.
No, that would be death.
Oh, okay.
I am going to duct tape some sleds so that they can finish sledding. While they're playing in the snow, I'm probably going to try to work on this a little more while there's direct sunlight on it. And the sun's kind of helping me get it off and try to get some of it done so it doesn't like melt tonight or melt and then turn into black ice tonight. And yeah, just kind of want to work on it a little bit. Well, I was able to get some of it while it's melting. I mean, this was already clear from where the truck was this morning before he left. So to get some of it cleared, but the sun's already fixing to start going on the other side of the house, so most of this will, if it doesn't dry, will probably turn into black ice. So that's kind of a bummer, but hoping it'll dry as much as possible. Some of the stuff like directly around the truck just was not going to shovel at all, but if it melts, we'll be able to go out tomorrow. If not, we'll have a stay at home Sunday and have some hot chocolate and some chili and be able to just relax. about the sleds. When we bought them, they were a 4-star rating. Something like that. Shortly after they arrived, like apparently everybody got them all at one time. They're now down to like a 2, maybe a 1.5-star rating at this point. We didn't buy them because we're like, hey, let's buy the cheap, you know, low rated. Like, right, that was not our goal. We were just looking for sleds for the kids because they want to go sledding and we have a hill, so why not? So we did not purposely buy like the worst rated sleds on Amazon, but if you want a good laugh, they're in the, we made a whole video about it, and then you can click on there and read the reviews because some of them are hilarious, but including a lot of sadness. But the kids liked them. They lasted for one time. We tried them again this time. We tried adding duct tape to them, but apparently, fun fact, duct tape doesn't stick when you're sledding on ice that is in the teens to zeros and real feel. So the duct tape fell off because it got too cold and brittle. And that's funny. I've never seen that happen because we don't live in a cold climate area. We rarely ever have temperatures this cold where the real feel is like single digits and zeros. So I think, what was the last time we had zero or single digits was like 5 years ago.
It's been a little.
And it was like a freak thing, wasn't it? Like it was brief. And it was like a freak thing that happened like right around New Year's 5 years ago, I think. The craziest thing. Oh, it may have been, no, it was like 4 years ago because it was after cruise. A lot of our life is like, when it comes to like timelines, is especially with vlogging, is like pre-cruise and after cruise, because like things really changed for us after the cruise. They did not last long in the snow because it's so super cold, and the sleds just, even with the duct tape, they wouldn't last. My hair is super frizzy and frilly, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on lunch. And we usually have a tradition that after snow we do hot chocolate, so I'm gonna run some hot chocolate pods through the K-Pod. We actually still have some Swiss Miss peppermint, so it's peppermint hot chocolate, so we're gonna do that. Let them, usually what we do is we let them just like warm up and drink some hot chocolate and watch a movie while they're warming up. On school days we do like nature documentaries. On non-school days they can have like a fun movie. 50-50, they're probably gonna pick Encanto. So we're gonna let them just watch a movie, warm up, relax, and we're also gonna do some leftover pizza. I'm gonna put some chicken in the air fryer, like honey tender chicken in the air fryer, and Matt and I are gonna try something new. So here's the deal. Matt never complains about what I send him for lunch, ever. He has no access to a microwave or refrigerator though. I want to do something different. So one thought was, he likes ramen noodles, like he likes to snack on them. The goal is to see if we can do the instant lunch noodles with just what I would send him in hot water from a thermos. So I'm gonna try to recreate like hot water as it would be like if he poured it from a thermos after being in his lunchbox for 4 hours, and just trying to recreate like how warm that would be. His thermos, I don't know, would you say that your thermos still holds the same amount of heat at lunch as when I put it in there in the morning? Maybe. So I'm gonna try that and just do it at the temperature that I would normally send it in, and just maybe allow for some variation. Add that hot water to it and see how it would go. And that's what he and I are going to do for part of our lunch today. Again, I still have, you can hear the air fryer going. I have the Tyson honey tenders that we purchased on our last grocery haul in there for lunch today. Weirdly, like when we air fry these, they smell like movie theater popcorn, and I don't know why, but that's what the smell reminds. Like, it doesn't smell like chicken tenders to me. It smells like movie theater popcorn. But it's really weird. So those are going to heat up. And then we have leftover pizza from last night. Normally we would just eat cold pizza, but it's cold today. So I'm thinking of popping those in the air fryer once the chicken is finished, and try it out. Brief discussion a friend asked me to talk about. Yes, we do use the Keurig brand Swiss Miss K-Pods for hot chocolate. We also use the Aldi's brand, but we use specifically ones for Keurig. But not every Keurig machine can handle those pods really well. The hot chocolate ones, anything that's instant, like any of the instant coffees, the instant hot chocolates. Yes, I know, why would you do an instant hot coffee pod if you're actually using a coffee machine? I don't know, it's just a thing. Anyways, so anything instant that you run through there sometimes will get built up in the machine. There's 3 separate pieces on the 2.0 that you can pull out to clean. You can also buy cleaning pods. Just keep in mind that maybe not all Keurig machines can do that. It's not a sponsor. Just like a friend asked me to talk about it because like they'd seen us use ours and they tried it and their machine actually got built up and theirs doesn't handle the pods the same way that ours does. So just something to keep in mind. This is the first time in my entire life that I have ever made one of these. Like I think I maybe one time I've ever made like an instant microwave mac and cheese for a niece or something. But I have never made these instant things before. So like this is all new to me. So what I did was I took into account that it probably is going to lose some heat in the thermos over 4 hours in his lunchbox. So instead of putting we have a Pyrex 2-cup measuring cup. I love this thing. I have a 2-cup one, and what I did was instead of putting it in for 2 minutes, I put it in for 1.5 minutes, taking into account that it would probably lose heat. So it's less heat than what I normally would send in a thermos first thing in the morning. But also another goal is like on days that I would do this, I'd probably send him also like instant oatmeal. That way like he has a thermos for both the same day, because I usually try to rinse the thermos out and or wash it depending on how much it needs it in between work days. So, you know, figure do all the thermos things in one day. But yeah, this is like all new to me to work this, so it's kind of like a trial and error to see how this goes. Well, that looks good. Okay, remove lid, stir thoroughly, and enjoy from cup. Okay, honey, you can only enjoy these noodles if you eat them from the cup they come in. Did you hear me?
Which one do you want me to do next?
He didn't give me a pun. I was hoping for a pun. There was no pun included. Some pun assembly required. Yeah. After everybody had a 2-hour nap, well, most everybody, some of the girls stayed up and just did some stuff on their own. The backyard, because again, that sun kind of skirts the ridge. The backyard is still mostly snowy, but the roads have cleared. And most of the driveway where we scraped it and it had started melting, it finished melting and it's clear. So not as worried about black ice either. And not as worried about driving down what feels like a ski slope when that thing is so slick. So we're gonna work on dinner. Tonight we are doing homemade biscuits and gravy.
And it's a penguin.
Apparently this is what happens when you ask 2 teenagers to make biscuits for dinner. That's not a biscuit.
It looks like a penguin though.
Oh my Lord.